I recently hosted a Twin Flame Initiations private workshop for some of my clients, and I wanted to share a little bit that I was guided to share publicly with humanity. As you guys probably know, there's been extraordinary damage caused by sharing really sacred information to people who aren't ready to receive it or who wish to use it as harm. For example, you can see this playing out through different religious communities and how they've taken and inverted spiritual teachings to create mass cult-like religious groups that invert the teachings and turn it into something that it is not, which in turn spiritually traps the soul who is seeking true enlightenment, which is the only way to return to source. And it's the ultimate goal for every soul on earth to, at some time, to be able to achieve enlightenment through sacred esoteric spiritual teachings. Some of the deepest esoteric teachings that there are related to twin flames. A lot of people don't believe in twin flames, or they have followed false spiritual teachers like Twin Flame Universe, who have created extraordinary harm to the collective consciousness. This damages souls. It also infects the ascension portal. It holds people's frequencies down, and it prevents them from getting the true path to the inner Christos, inner Sophia union, the alchemical marriage of the twin flame. Something that comes only with enlightenment and is extraordinarily sacred. So in this channeling that I did, in this class, this workshop that I did and hosted for some of my clients, we talked about some of the inverted teachings that the religions have used that are actually real and related to twin flames. And that is, again, part of enlightenment. So that's the ultimate goal for the soul, is to go through full enlightened DNA activation, twin flame union, etc. We are in a timeline now where there are more false prophets than there's ever been on the earth, mostly because of the internet. In the internet, people can just take information and copycat it and repeat words and pose themselves as if they are enlightened teachers when they're not. And this does extraordinary harm because their channels are infected, and they steal teachings which also affects the soul energy of the ascended teachers who are here to bring in the divine crystalline Christos frequencies from the 15-dimensional reality. When you look around the world and you see things happening like what's going on in Gaza, these are wars that are created under the name of God, where masses of innocent people are being completely slaughtered, mostly because of inverted spiritual teachings. This is the harm that's created by sharing some of the most sacred and divine subjects with the collective consciousness. This is why masters like Yeshua, who's known to be Jesus, spoke with a cloak in a lot of the things that he said in order to protect things that were sacred and holy. It's very important for the key holders, the flame holders, to teach in ways that can protect certain sacred things, because a lot of the spiritual evolution that every single individual soul will have to go through, or will go through if they choose to go on the path of ascension, are initiations that happen on a soul level. So a lot of the most sacred teachings need to be spoken with in a cryptic way so that people can get their spirit energy to match what you're saying in order for them to have the full initiations. Teachers like Doreen Virtue, she was never an enlightened soul. She went into the New Age false light arena, and she didn't get her initiations. And so when she realized that she was channeling demons, she backed off and reverted into religious dogmatic structure out of fear from what she was walking into, not realizing that she was connecting to demons. This is the case for the majority of spiritual teachers, not all of them. There are some very crystalline teachers out there, but the majority of them are in false light. They copycat information, and they don't realize that they're working for demons. A lot of them don't. Some do. And they do things that are actually harming the collective consciousness. So in the sacred teachings that I'm working on, both a couple of books actually related to the third temple, the second initiation, the second anointing, these are sacred teachings that some of the religions have stolen and inverted and turned into something very evil, and has nothing to do with their religions, has to do with the twin flames. These teachings will be brought forth here in a couple of books that I'm working on. But again, it's really important that people understand that sacred spiritual teachings, they have to be protected, not for the sake of gatekeeping, but for the sake of preventing extraordinary damage to the collective consciousness, who many of which are infiltrated by negative beings, negative ETs, fallen angelics, draconian beings, hybrids that do not work or serve the source, yet they use the ascension teachings and invert them in order to create control mechanisms to hold humanity back from a planetary ascension. This has become extremely problematic for those of us who have the 12-strand DNA, who are here bringing forth this information, because it is not the first time that we have been hijacked by these negative fallen angelics who take the teachings and turn them into something that is not at all divine or Christ. It's very good to understand that you will be shown everything you need to see in the times that you are meant to see whatever it is that you're shown. Your spirit and source have a very perfect way of revealing things individually to each soul that will assist that soul exactly when it's needed. And although teachers like myself come in to help assist in bridging the gap between the mortal world and the non-physical God world, we are here to assist in that process. However, it's extremely dangerous territory in this timeline and in every past timeline. Beings who come and bring forth light have been unalived, have been crucified, have been burned on the stakes, have been tortured, and have been pushed into poverty in order to suppress the teachings that we are bringing from Source. Source is the only one who can anoint a soul. Source is the only one who can bring you into a twin flame union. Source is the only one who can reveal the great mysteries of the universe and the ancient mystery school teachings. Source also anoints certain souls, mostly the indigo ones, who come in from the highest level, who work directly with Source, to be able to assist humanity in bridging the gap between the two worlds. And yet, as I said, these teachings are extremely sacred, and there's only so much that we can do as the angelic humanity collective in order to assist humanity. The soul itself, the individual, needs to continue to grow and expand and be able to be receptive to the messages behind the messages, to be able to read symbols, to be able to translate dreams, to be able to work with your intuition and to connect to your high soul, so that these messages that we bring forth become much more than just words, but become frequencies that you connect to in order to get the deeper understanding of what we're saying, in order to assist yourself in returning to Source and in receiving the divine blessings that Source holds for all souls who choose to align with the ways of the light. I share this out of love, and for those who are looking to get deeper esoteric teachings, please contact me to join my mystery school. And we're doing all sorts of workshops in private, again, in order to protect these teachings so that they don't fall into the wrong hands.